All right, welcome to Robin Spiers Live Online, Calgary's Real Estate Hotline. I'm Robin, and I want to hear any questions you have about real estate. As always, feel free to leave your questions in our comment section below. And if you want to keep your questions private, you can private message us or you can email us at info@robinspiers.com. So I'm just about to get started with the Q&A. Before I do, just a reminder, if you know a friend or a family member that has any questions about real estate, feel free to tag them in the comment section below so they can tune in, or feel free to put the question in for them and tag them so that they can see it later after the live broadcast. So anyway, first question that we're going to go over today is, does a developed basement add value to my home? In theory, and in most cases, a developed basement does add value. However, there's no formula as to how much value it adds. In fact, it can be a tricky thing when trying to figure out what development we should do in the basement versus what we should not do. And actually, going back to 2006, when the prices really drastically changed in Calgary, from about 2007 onwards, I've actually seen cases where there was two homes identical in every single way, just one had a developed basement and one didn't, and they sold for the same price. So like I said, in most cases it does make a difference, but I have seen cases where it doesn't make a difference at all. So you probably want to be very picky about what you do in your basement development so that it does actually increase your value. Next question, I'm getting divorced. Any advice on how we deal with our home? Okay, well, first and foremost, I would consult a lawyer. They're going to be able to give you the best advice. No matter what I say here, I would still get an opinion from a lawyer, just because it's very, very important to know that. One of the things you can do is, I suppose, one person could buy the other one out, but obviously you're going to need to know current market value, and you should probably get at least two separate appraisals. In fact, that's probably what your lawyer would recommend, at least two different appraisals. And that's not by a realtor, that's by a licensed appraiser. Even though a realtor who's working full-time will probably be able to have a pretty good feel have a pulse on the market and have a good feel of what your property is worth, you want a licensed appraiser, and that's what's going to be important. You could get an appraisal done by or a comparative market analysis done by a realtor, but just note that we are not licensed appraisers. We're not able to say that we can actually give proper appraisals like a licensed appraiser can. The one downside, I suppose, of one party buying the other party out is I've seen a lot of fights stem from this. Because maybe they don't agree on market value. So the person who's going to buy the other person out doesn't agree with the price. Maybe they think it's too high, or maybe the person being bought out thinks it's too low. So it can cause more fights. Probably the easiest thing and the cleanest and cause the least fights is if you both sell it and both move out, and then just divide the proceeds. But that's not always not everyone's able to do that. So first and foremost, always consult with a lawyer, figure out what you want to do with that, and that'll be part of the separation agreement. So if you have any further questions about that, or even particular scenarios, because that's quite a large topic that can happen, feel free to get in touch, and be happy to answer any of those questions. Another question is it a good time to buy now, or should I wait a year or two? Well, some of the recipes that makes it a good time to buy right now is interest rates are still very low. It's very, very cheap to borrow money. In fact, still probably one of the cheapest times in the history of Calgary history of the country to borrow money. It's very, very cheap. You can get interest rates of 3% or less. Yeah, I think even down as 2.5%, around there. The other thing is prices are low but appear to be stabilized, so it doesn't look like they're going to drop anymore at this point in time. But they're not going up drastically either. So again, the recipe or the environment is very good for buying right now. However, I want you to make a note of this and remember this. This trumps everything. The best time to buy is when you are ready to buy. It doesn't matter if it's a good deal, because if there's a great deal out there and you're going to have to go into financial trouble to be able to execute on that or take advantage of the good deal, then it's not a good deal anymore. At the same time, it's very important to remember that I lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah, sorry. There's always going to be good deals. Like every week I see good deals out there. But I'm not always ready to buy every week. So there will be another good deal. Don't feel like you're going to miss out and never have that good deal again. So it's very important to make sure that you are particularly ready to buy. That's the best time to buy, even if there are high interest rates. Because depending on what you're going to do, for instance, if you're in it for the long haul, if you purchase something either as an investment or as your home, it doesn't matter whether you're buying at a time that the market's high or not. If you're in it for the long haul, the time that you own it, it'll take care of whether you paid too much for it or not when you bought it. So that shouldn't be of worry. The only time it might be, and the other thing too, is if you're buying a buy and flip and properties are going up in value drastically, so you buy high, well, if you've got it for 3 months while you renovate it, it's probably going to appreciate in that time as well. So most of the time when it's a bad time to buy, it means the market's really going up, and chances are, even if you are doing a buy and flip, short, hold and sell, then you're going to still benefit from it. So whether it's long term or short term, I suppose the only time that a short-term buy and flip is maybe not ideal, or you've got to be very, very careful, is when you're in a descending market, when the market's going down. Now, keep in mind, when I say it's going down, one of our worst years in the last decade was a 15% drop. That was back in 2008. The average property dropped 15%. Now, in a case like that, that's just a little over 1% per month. So, percent per month, if you have a property for 3 months before you flip it, it's only gone down 3%. So let's say you bought a $350,000 property, it's gone down $10,000. $10,000 in that time period. So it's not a big deal. Shouldn't kill the cash model. If it does, then your margins are too close anyway. But I just want you to make sure you remember, no matter what, the best time to buy is when you are financially ready to do so. Everything else is secondary compared to that. So just want to check and see who's online. It looks like we've got Jolene. Hey Jolene, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Say hi to Tim and Marion. So that's all the time I've got for today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. For those of you who are watching this later, again, if you want any questions answered next week, remember, just put your questions in the comment section or private message them to us and we'll get them answered. If you found this helpful, please like and share it. We'd like to get more of an audience, and the feedback we've gotten so far is that everyone's been happy with the information that they've been getting from this. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and hope you guys are enjoying the weather. I know I have been, and we'll see you next week. Tune in then. Bye-bye.